Welcome back, traveler. You've returned to Snooze Scholar, where stories are slow, sleep is sacred, and ancient truths are whispered back into the world. Tonight, we drift once more beyond time, to a place where the stars were closer, and the night was not empty, but divine. Before kingdoms arose, before languages were carved into stone, there were names, now almost lost. Gods whose temples have crumbled, whose prayers have quieted, but whose presence still lingers in shadow, silence, and sleep. You've likely heard of Zeus or Ra or Odin, but tonight we remember the forgotten, the gods of sleep, of dreams, of the deep and sacred dark. Their stories are scattered like stardust, across Sumer, Greece, Mesoamerica, Japan, and beyond. And tonight, we will call them gently back, not to worship, but to wonder. So take a deep breath. Let your body grow heavier. Let the quiet of the night wrap around you like soft linen. You are safe, you are welcome, and you are not alone. If this journey brings you peace, if these forgotten names awaken something still and sacred within you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps these stories find other dreamers just like you, and it keeps the gods from fading entirely. Now, close your eyes if you haven't already. Let the waking world dissolve behind you. And listen, the night is long, and the gods are waiting. Our journey begins in ancient Greece, where the stars were studied like scripture, and the unseen world was filled with gods. And in that pantheon of thunder and chaos, there was Hypnos, not a warrior, not a king, but a gentle force, the very embodiment of sleep itself. Hypnos was no stranger to the world of mortals. He did not stand on mountaintops or ride storms across the sky. He came softly, on wings of silence, drifting like fog across the earth. In vase paintings and old poetry, Hypnos is shown as a young man with wings sprouting from his temples or shoulders. Sometimes he carries a horn, other times a branch dripping with poppies. Wherever he walks, sleep follows. He was the son of Nyx, the primordial goddess of night, and the twin of Thanatos, the spirit of peaceful death. Together, they lived in a cave where the sun never shined, no bird sang, no rooster crowed. The river Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, flowed gently by. It was not a place of fear, but of quiet, of stillness. A sacred hush where the body released its tension and the mind loosened its grip. Hypnos didn't force sleep upon the world. He invited it. He eased it in. Even Zeus himself, king of the gods, was no match for Hypnos when the moment was right. In one myth, Hypnos helped Hera lull Zeus into slumber so the gods could influence the Trojan War. The god of sleep outwitting the god of thunder, not with power, but with patience. To the Greeks, sleep wasn't weakness. It was balance, restoration, a sacred surrender. So tonight, as you close your eyes and feel your breath slow, imagine Hypnos standing near, quiet, gentle, offering you rest not as an escape, but as a gift. He brings no judgment, only calm. He brushes your thoughts aside like leaves in water and reminds your body how to soften. You don't need to chase sleep. It is already on its way, floating on the soft wings of Hypnos, the one who has always watched over your rest. Long before Greece, before pyramids or empires carved in stone, there was Sumer, one of the world's first civilizations, rising from the river valleys of Mesopotamia. It was a land of ziggurats, clay tablets, and gods who shaped the world with dreams and stars. And among them was Nanshi. She was not a god of war or conquest. Nanshi was something gentler, the goddess of dreams, prophecy, wisdom, justice, and the sea. She watched over those who had little, the orphans, the widows, the poor, and the displaced. In her temples, there were no gates for kings only. Anyone, rich or poor, could come and lay their worries before her. Each year, on a sacred day known as the Festival of Nanshu, people would enter her temple to confess their dreams. The priests would listen and interpret them, helping to restore balance between the divine and the mortal. The dreams were not discarded. They were seen as messages, warnings, visions, a way to glimpse the unseen through symbols and sleep. Nanshi herself was said to travel the night sea, drifting across dreamscapes, her boat gliding over the waters of the unconscious. She did not rule with fire or fear. She ruled with fairness, with clarity. She saw through deception and illusion in both the waking and the dreaming world. To dream under her gaze was to be seen, not judged. Her gift was insight, and her presence brought peace. So tonight, if your thoughts feel tangled, if your spirit feels unmoored, imagine Nanshi beside you, her feet brushing the tide, her hand guiding your mind like a boat into still water. Let her take the weight from your shoulders. Let her offer you rest, not just for your body, but for your sense of self. In a world that moves too fast, she reminds you that justice, like sleep, comes not from force, but from balance, from stillness, from listening deeply to what your dreams are trying to say. From the fertile rivers of Sumer, we drift now to the dense jungles and high plateaus of ancient Mesoamerica. The Aztecs believed the night was a living thing, thick with meaning, heavy with spirits. In their mythology, few figures were as mysterious or misunderstood as Xolotl. Xolotl was a god of paradox, guardian of the underworld, companion of the sun, twin of the radiant Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who brought light and wisdom to the world. Where his brother rose with the dawn, Xolotl walked the dusk. He was the god of twilight, death, deformity, and transformation, yet also the one who guided souls through Mictlan, the Aztec land of the dead. With the head of a man and the body or face of a dog, Xolotl was feared by some, but trusted by those who needed help crossing between worlds. He did not judge the dead. He escorted them, a protector in darkness, a friend when the sun had disappeared. In stories, Xolotl refused to leave the earth when other gods sacrificed themselves for the creation of the fifth sun. He wept. He ran. He hid, transforming into maize, then a salamander, then water itself. Not out of cowardice, but grief. He could not bear to die when his brother did. But eventually, he too gave himself, not in fire, but in loyalty. His essence lived on in dogs, sacred creatures to the Aztecs, who were believed to guide the dead through rivers and obstacles in the afterlife. So tonight, if you fear the shadows, if your mind won't settle, if you feel alone in the dark, imagine Xolotl walking beside you, not to frighten, but to protect. He carries no torch, only patience. He does not demand silence, only trust. He walks with you through fear, through memory, through the soft edges of the unknown, and when you dream, He may appear not as a god, but as a quiet companion with loyal eyes, offering his presence as a bridge between your thoughts and your rest. Even in the deepest dark, there are guardians, and sometimes they wear fur and bear fangs, not to harm you, but to remind you, you're not alone in the night. Now we drift eastward, across oceans of mist and memory, to the mountains and forests of ancient Japan. In a culture shaped by subtlety, silence, and spirit, there is a being whose name is rarely shouted, but often whispered in the dark. It is not a god in the traditional sense. It is something older, something stranger, something protective. Its name is Baku. Born of legend, Baku is a creature said to devour nightmares. Not metaphorically, but literally. In the moments after a terrible dream, when fear still clings to your skin and sleep threatens to flee, you could whisper into the air, "Baku, come eat my dream." And if the spirit was listening, it would. The Baku's image is a mosaic of beasts, a tapir-like body with the face of an elephant, the paws of a tiger, the tail of an ox, and the eyes of a rhinoceros. No part is entirely human, but all are stitched together like a dream that makes sense only until you wake. Legends say that Baku was created from the spare parts left over after the gods had finished making all other animals. It was an afterthought, and yet one of the most sacred. It doesn't visit everyone, only those who call to it. Only those brave enough to invite a strange protector into their dreams. But there is a warning. Baku will eat your nightmare, yes. But if it is still hungry, it may devour the rest of your dreams as well, leaving behind only emptiness, a dreamless night, a blank space where your visions once bloomed. And so, it is not summoned lightly. The act of calling Baku is a ritual, a choice, a moment of surrender, of trust. Imagine now you've awoken from a dream that left your chest tight, your breath shallow. You do not open your eyes, you do not reach for your phone. Instead, you whisper into the darkness, "Baku, come eat my dream." You wait, the air stills. The room holds its breath, and then nothing, not a sound, not a shape, but you feel it, a subtle shift, a weight lifting. The nightmare begins to dissolve, as though erased by invisible hands. And in its place, nothing, just stillness, just peace. Baku does not leave gifts, it leaves space. A clearing in the forest of your mind, a path for better dreams to walk. Tonight, if your sleep feels heavy, if your mind won't quiet, or if your dreams seem sharp around the edges, know that you do not have to hold them. You can let them go. You can offer them up. And maybe, just maybe, the Baku will come. It asks for no altar, no offering, only belief. Now we return once more to Greece, to the realm of myth and shadow, where gods spoke in riddles and dreams were not just random, but crafted. Among the many spirits that drifted through the night, one held a power unlike any other. He did not bring sleep nor guard the dead. He was the one who gave shape to dreams, the one who painted entire worlds behind your closed eyes. His name was Morpheus. He was a child of Hypnos, born in the stillness of that same eternal cave, where sunlight dared not reach and silence was sacred. But unlike his father, Morpheus was not the bringer of rest. He was the architect of what came after. In the myths, he is described as winged, silent, cloaked in mist. He visited mortals in their dreams and could take any form: a loved one, a stranger, a god. His talent was illusion, but not deceit. He sculpted visions so vivid that the sleeper could not tell where the dream ended and the self began. Morpheus ruled over a realm called the Oneiroi, a host of dream spirits, each responsible for different kinds of dreams. Some brought fear, others brought joy. Some whispered the past, some hinted at the future. But Morpheus, above them all, shaped the dreams of kings and commoners alike. His touch gave form to the formless, flesh to the imagined. And his gift was not just entertainment, it was revelation. Messages were delivered through his visions, signs from the gods, omens disguised as stories, truths hidden in metaphor. In literature, he appears briefly, but powerfully. In Ovid's Metamorphoses, he is sent by the gods to visit the grieving queen, Alcyone, taking the form of her drowned husband to tell her the truth. He does not deceive, he delivers, softly, gently, dressed in sorrow and meaning. Tonight, as you lie in your own sacred stillness, Morpheus may already be working, not with brush or pen, but with memory and desire and fragments of thought you've long since forgotten. You may see someone you miss. You may walk through a place that never existed. You may wake unsure if it was real. That is his gift. So do not fear confusion in your dreams. Do not dismiss them as nonsense. Some are warnings, some are healing, some are simply echoes, and some are crafted, placed there, gently, by Morpheus. Let him shape what comes next. Now we return once more to Greece, to the realm of myth and shadow, where gods spoke in riddles and dreams were not just random, but crafted. Among the many spirits that drifted through the night, one held a power unlike any other. He did not bring sleep nor guard the dead. He was the one who gave shape to dreams, the one who painted entire worlds behind your closed eyes. His name was Morpheus. He was a child of hypnos, born in the stillness of that same eternal cave, where sunlight dared not reach and silence was sacred. But unlike his father, Morpheus was not the bringer of rest. He was the architect of what came after. In the myths, he is described as winged, silent, cloaked in mist. He visited mortals in their dreams and could take any form: a loved one, a stranger, a god. His talent was illusion, but not deceit. He sculpted visions so vivid that the sleeper could not tell where the dream ended and the self began. Morpheus ruled over a realm called the Oneiroi, a host of dream spirits, each responsible for different kinds of dreams. Some brought fear, others brought joy. Some whispered the past, some hinted at the future. But Morpheus, above them all, shaped the dreams of kings and commoners alike. His touch gave form to the formless, flesh to the imagined. And his gift was not just entertainment, it was revelation. Messages were delivered through his visions, signs from the gods, omens disguised as stories, truths hidden in metaphor. In literature, he appears briefly, but powerfully. In Ovid's Metamorphoses, he is sent by the gods to visit the grieving Queen Alcyone, taking the form of her drowned husband to tell her the truth. He does not deceive. He delivers, softly, gently, dressed in sorrow and meaning. Tonight, as you lie in your own sacred stillness, Morpheus may already be working, not with brush or pen, but with memory and desire and fragments of thought you've long since forgotten. You may see someone you miss, You may walk through a place that never existed. You may wake unsure if it was real. That is his gift. So do not fear confusion in your dreams. Do not dismiss them as nonsense. Some are warnings, some are healing, some are simply echoes, and some are crafted, placed there, gently by Morpheus. Let him shape what comes next, beyond the quiet cave of hypnos, beyond even the soft footsteps of Morpheus. There lived a legion of spirits who traveled between worlds every night. They were called the oneiroi, the dream bringers, the messengers of sleep, the countless winged brothers who poured visions into the minds of mortals. The Greeks believed that dreams came not from within, but from beyond, delivered like letters, carried like smoke, planted like seeds. The oneiroi emerged from the dark womb of Nyx, the night goddess. Children of darkness, yet not always dark in purpose. Some were gentle, some were terrifying. Some came with joy, others came with warnings. There were thousands of them. Each dream you've ever had, perhaps, brought by a different Oneros. But among them, a few stood apart. Morpheus, the shaper of human forms, already known to you. Phobator, who brought dreams filled with beasts, monsters, and animals of omen. Phantasos, who conjured the impossible. Landscapes made of smoke, skies turned inside out, dreams without rules. Together, they worked as artists and messengers, painting your sleep in color and story. It was said they lived beyond the gates of dreams. Two great portals at the edge of sleep. One gate was made of ivory. From it came false dreams, hollow and fleeting. The other made of horn. From it came true dreams, laced with meaning and prophecy. But how to know which gate your dream passed through? You can't? And perhaps you're not meant to. Because sometimes the false dream still heals, and sometimes the true dream hides beneath nonsense. The oneiroi did not explain. They delivered, and then vanished. Tonight, as your breathing deepens and your limbs grow heavier, one of them may already be at the threshold. You will not see them. You will not hear them. But you will feel it. The subtle shift in your mind. The opening of a door. A scene begins. A voice speaks. A memory returns. Or a new world unfolds. You do not need to understand it. Only to receive it. Let the oneiroi pass through. Let the dream come. Now we pass through the last of the oneiroi's mist and find ourselves standing between two worlds, not quite Greece, not quite Egypt, but a place where belief itself was blended into something new. Here, in a fusion of gods and cultures, stood Serapis. He was born not from myth, but from intention, created by rulers who wanted to unify. Combining the wisdom of Greece with the mysticism of Egypt. But Serapis became more than politics. He became power, a healer, a god of light and the afterlife, and a silent ruler of sacred sleep. In Alexandria, temples rose in his name. Cool marble sanctuaries where pilgrims traveled not to speak, but to dream. These temples became places of incubation, a practice where the sick, the grieving, or the seeking would lie in stillness, surrounded by soft light and ritual, waiting for a dream. They fasted, they prayed, they washed in sacred water, and then they slept on stone beds in the heart of the temple. There, Serapis was said to visit them, not in voice or form, but through the symbols and visions of sleep. Some would dream of plants, some of hands glowing with warmth. Some would feel nothing, but wake feeling whole. When morning came, priests would help interpret. The dream was not dismissed. It was studied, prescribed, used as medicine. This was not mysticism to them. It was divine science, a form of healing older than charts, but rooted in something deeper than reason. To lie in the temple of Serapis was to place your soul in the hands of something greater, to say, I am ready to be shown. And sometimes that was enough. So tonight, if something within you aches, whether body or spirit, imagine you are lying in one of those sacred chambers. The air is cool, incense lingers, and all around you, silence. You are not alone. You are being watched, not by eyes, but by energy, by presence, by something that seeks to help, not to judge. Close your eyes. Invite Serapis to walk through your dreams, not to cure you, but to show you where the healing might begin. And now, we come to the final threshold, not of night, not of sleep, but of what comes after. Here, at the quiet edge of the Chinese underworld, where souls prepare to be reborn, a solitary woman waits beside a dark river. Her name is Meng Po, the Lady of Forgetfulness. She does not wear gold. She carries no weapon. She does not punish or praise. She stirs a simple bowl, a clay pot filled with memory-erasing tea, a brew laced with forgetfulness, silence, and mercy. Every soul that reaches her must drink from it, so they may return to the world without burden, without grief, without the weight of 1,000 past lives pressing on their chest. In some stories, she stands beneath a great willow tree. Others place her in a crumbling pavilion by the bridge of rebirth. She asks no questions. She does not scold. She only offers the bowl. One sip, and everything you were begins to fade. Names, faces, pain, joy, even love. Not erased out of cruelty, but as an act of kindness. To give you the chance to begin again, unshackled from what once was. To many, this is a tragedy, the idea of forgetting. But to others, it is a form of healing no medicine can match. There is peace in not remembering. There is grace in not needing to carry it all forever. And tonight, as your breath slows, as your body drifts further from the day and deeper into the dark, perhaps Meng Po is closer than you think. not to take anything from you, but to ask softly, would you like to let this go? Maybe it's a thought that won't stop spinning. Maybe it's a regret. Maybe it's just the noise. You don't need to drink the whole bowl, but maybe one small sip, a moment of forgetting, so your spirit can remember who it truly is beneath the weight. Let her offer it. Let yourself receive it. Not as punishment, but as a gift. You've now met the forgotten ones, the gods and guardians who walk the edges of dreams and memory. Not all of them were worshipped. Not all of them are remembered. But they are still with us, in symbols, in stories, in silence. Tonight, they walked with you. Sleep well, traveler. May the dreams that come next be sacred, and may you carry their echo gently into the waking world. You've traveled far tonight, not just through time, but across belief, across breath, across the quiet spaces between memory and meaning. You've walked beside gods whose names are almost lost. Hypnos, Nanshi, Zolotl, Baku, Morpheus, the Oneroi, Serapis, and Mungpo. You've entered temples of silence, stood at the edge of rivers, and sipped from bowls stirred with forgetfulness. And yet, somehow, you were never a visitor. You were a part of it all. Because these stories, though ancient, still live inside you, not just as myths or metaphors, but as instincts. That moment when your eyes grow heavy, that sense that something waits for you in the dark, that pull to surrender, to let go, to dream. They are not gone. They are not dead. They are simply quiet, waiting for someone to remember. Sleep is not the absence of thought. It's the presence of something deeper, something older, a rhythm that has echoed through generations of breath, passed down like starlight through the dark. So as your breathing slows, as your thoughts grow soft around the edges, know this: you are not alone. You walk the same path as countless others before you. You belong to a lineage of dreamers, of seekers, shamans, healers, and watchers of the sky. Tonight, let the thread carry you. Let the gods you've met walk with you. Let the stories shape your rest. And if you feel peace, if something inside you settles just a little deeper, please consider subscribing or leaving a like. It helps this channel grow, and it helps these ancient stories find new dreamers. Now, there is nothing left to do. Close your eyes if they haven't already. Let the body disappear into the bed. Let the breath guide you. Let the thread hold you. Sleep well, dream bravely, return slowly. You're safe. You are sacred. You are home.